Chapter 29 Writing Practices Development. You want to write something, but where do you start? You started development. There are two stages of development. 1. Planning, laying the initial plans. 2. Revising your plan, going over the initial plan and making any necessary changes. Development. The planning that goes into a writing project before you begin writing. There are three questions to think about to develop an idea. 1. Task. What do you want to write? What have you been assigned to write? Example, writing a business plan for your social team, soccer team, fundraiser. 2. Purpose. Why do you want to writing? Example, to get enough money from your friend, family, and community to rent a van, to travel to a state competition. 3. Audience. Who are you writing for? Example, your friends, family, community, and local business owners. Just think of these three questions. When you are in development to focus your task, purpose, and audience. What, why, who. You may even want to jot down, write, make a note, the answers to these questions before starting to write. You can keep the answer in front of you as a reminder of when you must write. Audience. Your audience is the people you are writing for who will hopefully read what you've written. If you are a journalist at a local newspaper, you may write for your community. If you are a mystery writer, you may write for all people who love mysteries. Once you know your audience, ask these questions. Does the audience know everything you know? Your audience may not be familiar with all the people, place, things, or ideas that you know. If they aren't, you need to introduce and explain these new things. But if your audience is familiar or the information is common knowledge, you don't need to spend time on the concepts. Does the audience feel the same way you do? If the audience doesn't agree with you, you may need to spend some time making your argument. Does the audience expect something specific from you? If you are writing for a very specific task, purpose, or audience, then it doesn't make sense to writing something that doesn't fit readers' expectation. If you are at a poetry reading, the audience will be very confused if you start reading a political speech, or vice versa. If you start reading poetry at a political rally, the audience will be confused because what you are saying doesn't meet their expectations. Instead of focusing on your message, the audience should focus on how the poem is out of place. Planning, brainstorming. As you start to answer all these questions, you are planning all the thinking you do before you actually start putting anything on paper or on the screen. But just because you are not creating finished sentence doesn't mean you are not writing. Planning is a crucial part of the writing process. One tool you can use in the planning stage is brainstorming. Once you come up with a topic, you will start to get ideas and questions. Some of them will be good, and some of them won't be so good. Some of them will be on the topic, and some of them might not connect as well. But the brainstorming, you don't try to figure that all out. You just try to get it all down. Take some time when you are in the planning stage just to write, brainstorming, produce ideas. Planning stage just to write, Write down whatever comes into your head. That's brainstorming. Once you've got it all down, you can start to think about what you want to focus on, what you want to eliminate, or what other ideas you come up with. Organization. Once you develop your ideas, you need to organize them in order to plan what you write. To do that, look back at your answer to the task, purpose, and audience question. Task. What do you want to do? Organize your piece to best suit your task. Example, a fictional short story and a newspaper article don't start out the same way. They are organized differently. A news article puts the most important things at the beginning. A fictional short story can have a lot of different structure, but often it has the most important action toward the end. Align your organizational structure to your task. Purpose. Why do you want to do it? Organize your information to best suit your purpose. Example, in a news article, you want to get the news to everybody as quickly as possible. That's why the organize is the most important information at the beginning. In a fictional short story, author can have a lot of different purpose. If he or she want to express an idea, the author may weave the idea throughout the story. If the author want to write a mystery, he or she probably won't reveal the most important information until the very end. So there is suspense throughout. Audience. Who are you writing to? Organize your information to best suit your audience. Example, different audience prefer different organization. If you want to explain a scientific concept to a group of scientists, you might organize your thought in the format that they are familiar with, perhaps like a standard scientific paper with an introduction, argument, and conclusion. But if you want to explain the same idea to a group of first grader, you might organize it as a story with a beginning, middle, and end, so you can keep their attention. Outline. An outline is like the roadmap to your piece. In it, you capture all the things you want to say, plus the order in which you want to say them. Brainstorming gets all your ideas down on paper. Organizing helps you think about the best way to get your ideas across. Where to start, how to get your point across, and where you want to wind up. Outlining gives you a place to jot down or note thought, using main headings for the big ideas and subheadings for your supporting details. Example, title, Why Public Gardens Are Important. Introduction, claim and brief history of public gardens. Claim, public gardens are important part of our society. The first public gardens, how the craze grew. Public gardens in the present. Reason why the public gardens are important. Health, physical health benefit of public gardens. Mental health benefits of public garden. Reason why public gardens are important. Community. Community is built by working in a garden. Community is built by visiting gardens. Conclusion. Public gardens should be supported in the future. Recap of importance. Plan for the capture. Plan for the future. Plans for the future. Revising your outline. Once you have written your outline, review everything.